Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with WXL, but something a little bit different. Now, usually, obviously for those of you guys that have watched the WXL videos, you will know that we do a 5-lap race in the F2 cars to decide the grid for the normal F1 race. Now, this week out, normally the F2 race is alright, you know, there's nothing really too much to say about it in all honesty, but this week out, it was quite an interesting one, so I thought, you know, something a little bit different. I would actually upload the F2 race as well. Now, don't be alarmed, the F1 race will hope to be going up within the next couple of days. It is on my schedule of videos to get finished. But yeah, no, really, you know, this, normally I don't do this, but I think, you know, if we get a good race in the F2 cars, then I felt, you know, we had to upload it nonetheless, and as you guys will see from this video, yeah, this one is certainly quite an exciting one. In the background is my first, well, my only qualifying lap. It is a one-shot qualifying session for the F2 races here, and yeah, really not a particularly good lap, I'll be honest with you. I hadn't done much practice in the F2 car. Spa, for those of you that are aware and have seen this channel for quite a while, is one of my favourite tracks on the F1 calendar. Well, I mean, it is my favourite track on the F1 calendar, you know, both to race at and to watch, in all honesty. It's just brilliant, this place, and I don't get how on earth they've perfected such a racetrack, in all honesty. It's almost alarming just how good this track really is at the end of the day. But in the F2 cars, though, I kind of struggled a little bit. Obviously, it's always strange adjusting back to the F2 cars. I've noticed this in the Mick Schumacher career mode as well. You've obviously, where they don't have the downforce, they don't have the performance, anything like that, you've just got to break that a little bit earlier. And with line, I'm sure that's very easy because obviously you're just looking at line on the ground. Without it, all your braking references, you have to consciously think to slow down beforehand there as we get a big wobble on the way into Pure. Now I'm pretty much opposite lock, halfway in towards the apex, which is certainly an interesting moment, I'll be honest, as we head down towards the bottom of the hill here. Yeah, certainly still really looking forward to this one. And yeah, like I said, qualifying overall, our lap wasn't brilliant, but I mean, it was easy, replicatable. That's not a word, but we'll also but yeah, it was easily redoable in the race nonetheless. So it certainly wasn't like, you know, we weren't even going to be able to get close to this lap in the race. I'm pretty certain we did actually beat this lap in the race nonetheless, as we come through Blanchard, but still fully pinned through there. Really brilliant fun, especially in a Formula 1 car. But there are some tracks in this game where the F2 cars, I remember Baku in the Mick Schumacher career mode as well, that track was brilliant fun just because it was even more scary than normal. You've just got to hang on even more through some of the corners there. And you can see down over the finish line, it is KJ Gamer that gets pole, and we're at 1.4 seconds off there. Like I said, though, a lot of time to find on that lap, you know, just through general small mistakes here and there. There was not many sort of big mistakes, but just everywhere we seem to be losing, you know, half-tenth or so. And yeah, that was a little bit frustrating in the end. But still, 1.4 off pole. We found ourselves in 6th on the grid there. PT was in 2nd, Jax YT was in 3rd, Dasher, Pred, myself, and then it was Joel, I think, in 7th on the grid there. So P6 is not bad. That's probably, I think, my best F2 one-shot quality performance so far this season. Like I said, you know, I mainly practice for the F1 races in this. And you can just have a look at my setup there in the background as well. But yeah, getting ready then for this Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps as we get ready for the start. What is going to happen then? Starting down in P6 on the grid, ready for this. We've got KJ on the pole. We've got the absolute noob EPT joining him on the front row there. I know Ethan choked the Eau Rouge in the actual F1 race as well. Luckily, I was miles ahead of him, as you'd probably expect by that point, ready on the grid. I'm sorry, Ethan. I love you really, baby. But yeah, getting ready then on the start for this race. As you've seen in the F2 cars, you've just got to absolutely put the throttle to the floor, and it's lights out, and away we go. There are a little bit of lag from a couple of people. Not too sure if that's my connection or theirs, but as we head down in towards T1, they're staying on the outside. Someone, that's Pred, going for a bit of a late lunge down in towards T1 there, and a bit of weird ghosting laggy contact. Not too sure what that was all about. Dasher gets hung out to dry on the exit, and yeah, we move ourselves straight up into P5 off the start of this race there. What's the grid going to be like through Eau Rouge? First time around, Eau Rouge and Rally on a little bit loose, but we keep it all together there as the DRS train kicks into full effect as we head down the back straightaway here. You can see Ethan and KJ going side by side. Jax is going to make it through, right? Pred's going to make it 4. There's contact. KJ and Ethan come together there, and that's going to move ourselves up into P2 of this race. And let's just have a look back at that on the slow-mo here. What has happened in this one. I'll be honest, it's a little bit difficult to work out who's really caused this one. Ethan moves slightly left, KJ moves slightly right. They just get stuck together. Jax gets put in the wall. Ethan almost gets sent around as well. That gets a huge tank slapper there. Pred tries to keep the nose in as well there. And yeah, really not too sure what that one was all about. But it moves us up into P2 of the race there now, behind KJ in this one. So, you know, a good start for myself. Certainly didn't want to get involved in that full wide action. Generally speaking, I just tried to sort of sit back and let the action unfold just in front of me here. But yeah, we'll wait and see as to how we fare nonetheless, as now we are just behind KJ in this Grand Prix. We've still got Pred just behind us, but he might have some front wing damage. I'm not 100% sure, in all honesty, as we head through Blanchement. They're completely pinned 190 miles an hour here as we break down in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. Still all over the back of KJ, and this could be a golden opportunity to try and pick up a win in the F2 cars here. So see at the final couple of corners, though, getting a lot of wheel spin down towards the start-finish line there. And in those situations, you've just got to try and keep the foot to the floor, because where this car's got a lot less power, it's always critical. You know, the less power you got, the more critical it is that you spend as much time as possible on the power there. And yeah, that's kept Pred just a little bit closer as we head onto the second lap of this race through Eau Rouge once again here, up towards the top over Radion. You can see KJ not quite getting the run that he would have wanted there. A little bit cautious that time around. We're going to be able to have a look right around the outside as we head up the back straightaway here, up the Camel Straight. And yeah, nothing really KJ can do in that situation. Pred is closing in as well. Maybe he's going to go for a bit of a sniff. No, we slot back into position there, and we are now up into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix there. So couldn't have really asked for a better opening lap than that. And you can see coming towards the end of lap 3 though, making a little bit of a lock-up in towards the final couple of corners there. And now we've got KJ and Jolly just behind us, you know, the two fastest guys in this league there. And it's going to be interesting to see if we can hold on ahead of these two there as we come down in through La Source, trying to get a good drive on the exit of the first corner there. You've really just got to try and rev this car out as best as possible. Use all of the power band as we head down in towards our route here. Just 2 laps to go of this race. They're still not really struggling through a rouge in this car as much as a lot of people were. So a lot of people getting, you know, sort of very squirrely, everything like that. But for me, I hadn't really struggled with it all too much in this race though. But despite that, KJ's still going to be able to have a look up the inside as we reach the top of the Camel Straight there. And we're just going to try and slot in just behind him here. Maybe go for a bit of a switchback through the first few corners of Sector 2 here. Are we going to be able to get any sort of run there? Actually, a tiny bit of contact made between the pair of us here, and as we head down the hill in towards the hairpin, who is... Oh, KJ runs a little bit wide there. In fact, he's going to give him a bit of a squeeze on the exit of the corner there, and through the next corner, we just don't quite get the car turned in there. Tried to get nice and early on the power. Not too sure how he picked up that much front wing damage from that. From my side of things, it looked like a very, very small knock in that situation there, but it's just not quite going to give us the turn in through P1 there. A huge wobble, and that's going to let Jolly slot up into P2 here, and I wasn't too worried about that, in all honesty, because I know Jolly obviously is going to try and battle for the race victory. So, you know, if these two can start battling, we can just try and stick with them and potentially line something up for ourselves with just a lap and a quarter to go of this Grand Prix as we head through Stavilo here. Are we going to be able to get a good run on the exit there, having to bail out of the throttle ever so slightly? You can see Pred, though, is a good 2 seconds back as we head in towards the final lap of this Grand Prix, though. We're still holding on at the moment. We're still in touching distance. Obviously, the DRS is so strong in these cars here. You know, you really can stay close, even if, you know, sort of 8/10 back heading on to a straightaway here. KJ runs very, very deep, though, in towards the final chicane there. Jolly and myself going to potentially try and go for a bit of a switch back there. We just tried to stick to the apex, but look at the run Jolly's got at the final corner. Don't look at the run that I've just had. That was absolutely abysmal as we head down in towards T1 there. I think a little bit of contact made between the pair of them there. We're going to have a look up the inside of KJ, but once again, he's going to get the drive of the exit of the corner there, and surely he's going to be able to get a bit of a slingshot on Jolly as we head down in towards Rouge here, up the Camel Straight once again, the 5th and final time in this Grand Prix. We take the curbs, they're a little bit risky, but we do keep the car pointing in the right direction. The DRS now activated in this Grand Prix there. Is KJ going to be able to have a look up the inside of Jolly? No, Jolly goes defensive towards the end of the Camel Straight here. Who's going to come out on top? Jolly late on the brakes. KJ, though, even later, he's been able to make it work around the outside, but Jolly, you know, returns the favour as we head through the chicane there. And who's going to come out on top? They're still side by side here. This is fantastic racing between the pair of them as we head down the hill once again here. Is Jolly going to be able to hook it up right around the outside? He's going to have the inside for the next corner, as well as P1 here. They're still side by side here. How are they maintaining this? It's helping us get closer and closer, though, as we head back down the hill here. You can see, surely they can't keep it side by side through here. No, Jolly slams the door shut on the exit of the corner here. Now that's going to mean KJ is certainly not going to be happy with that one. He's surely going to have to try and have a look up the inside in towards the bus stop chicane, or anywhere he possibly can try and open up a move through the final couple of corners of the lap here. That's brought myself and Pred back into this battle as well here. Are we going to be able to get a good run out of Stablo despite the little bit of front wing damage here? We're going to try and get it nice and tidy. That's the most important thing there, and that's what we've been able to do this time around, though. We have dropped back ever so slightly, but KJ is going to get so close to Jolly as we head up towards Blanchemont one final time here. Just a few corners to go of this Grand Prix. He's basically pushed him through there. Jolly is playing it defensive as we head down in towards the final chicane of the race there. Pred's all over the back of me. KJ's going to try and keep the nose up the inside. We're going to try and go for the switchback on the exit of the corner there, but we do all slot into formation there. Jolly wins on the road there, but a penalty means he's going to drop back down into P4 of the Grand Prix. So it is KJ that takes the W there ahead of myself and Pred, but what a battle that was at the end of the day there. That was absolutely fantastic in the end there. I think that was all four of us were separated by about half a second at the line there. You really don't get many races that are that close. And yeah, like I said though, the full F1 race will hopefully be going live on the channel within the next couple of days. So I've got plenty of videos coming out from different leagues at the moment there. But yeah, that race I just had to share. That was absolutely brilliant fun at the end of the day there. I'm looking forward to trying to get into some more of the F2 races on the whole. I have signed up for the AOR F2 League as well. There'll hopefully be highlights coming from that league as well over the next few weeks and months there. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video though. Do get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well, and you do want to see the full F1 race from WXL Spa as well. Plenty more content, like I said, on the channel. But yeah, that'll do us for this one, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.